Okay, well, now that the snow melted away, if you want to be a good team, you got to really stick it to the bad ones. And it's a division game, and there's no gimmies in the league, and they get 2 weeks to prepare for us, and we slaughter them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're guaranteed right now at least a 500 in the division, right? We're 3-2. We have one game left.
Yeah.
We could go 3-3. I don't know. We could beat the New England Patriots last game of the year. Hopefully, it doesn't come down to it, but it might, and it keeps us alive. So now we got to beat Cleveland next week.
Yeah, and Cleveland, well, as good as they have been playing, they really are only one game better. They're 7-4, and we're 6-5. But
Well, yeah, but if we beat them, we'll both be 7-5. And we'll have the tiebreaker against Cleveland. So then we have the murderous row. We have Green Bay, and Denver, Oakland, and New England. But Oakland's got to be a gimme, and you got to be able to win 2 out of 3 of those other 3. I think if you want any chance at all. And maybe you could lose the Green Bay game because it's a National League game, but you just got to beat Denver and New England, or because you got to win those AFC. So we're still alive. Let's keep Orton in there. Let's keep them going. I say keep them going until they're mathematically out. Once they're mathematically out, you play Manuel. I'm listening to the radio a couple minutes ago, and they're talking about, well, what really choice do we have? There's no other quarterbacks, but I think we should pick a quarterback, somewhere. Last 2 years ago, you got second and third round picks playing for the National League championships. I mean, you got the kid in Seattle, Wilson was a second and third round, and the kid from San Francisco, Kaepernick. So you take a shot. We don't have a first round pick, but who knows? Maybe you pick that guy up. You got to keep picking one of those every year to get your franchise quarterback. I don't think Orton's the guy, but I think we can win with him.
Yeah, and I also don't think that you don't need to draft someone high on the defense. I mean, you're going to get Alonso back next year, and everyone is pretty good. They're all locked in except Hughes, and just Hughes, I think, because Darius, we re-upped him for another year, so I think only Hughes would need to be re-signed.
Yeah, I think they'll probably open the bank for him. They got Pagula, and the kid's got to think, I'm only getting 9 and 10 sacks because they're double, triple teaming everybody else. He's got to be the weakest guy on the on the line. You got Darius, you got Kyle Williams, and you got Mario Williams. You got to figure you're the weakest guy. So you play with those 3 guys, you get 10 sacks. So if the Bills are going to pay you the money, you might as well stay with them and get your 10, 15 sacks, and maybe you'll make the Pro Bowl, and maybe you'll make some.
I think he's going to go because I think someone else is going to pay him a real buttload, and we got to pay that Darius, but. That's enough talk of that. Let's get right to the game here. What did we see? Everyone came back and they looked fresh. Jackson, was good to have him back. And our offensive line, made it seem like the coaches knew what they were doing.
Yeah, and that's the big key, I think, in any game is the offensive line. Really, how they go, you go. You run the ball. You can protect your passer. Tom Brady can't throw the ball when he's laying on his back.
Sure.
You gotta attack him. That's why they lost the Super Bowl and didn't go 17-0. So you got to have the offensive line. They got to come together, and they really did. You got this 30-yard run for a touchdown.
Yeah,
and,
later in the game, sure.
Yeah, and then you had a 5-yard run for a touchdown with Jackson. So the running game, I think we had 116 total yards rushing. And receiving, our Robert Woods had a nice game.
Yeah, 9 catches, 118 yards, and the touchdown. The circus catch, everyone saw that with the helmet. And if it wasn't for the guy playing for the Giants on Sunday night, it'd be the best catch of the week. Nonetheless, it was great, and he showed up. And I like listening. All those press conferences at the end. My favorite ones are always just to listen to the coach talk. And he said that if he doesn't show up when they're double teaming Watkins, then we don't have the success that we have. You got to have that guy on the other side. So that certainly worked.
And you know what? And the same thing. I listened to Rex Ryan. He said, we double shifted. We took Watkins out of the game. Maybe we put a little bit too much on him, and then we ended up burning him. So they're talking about getting a new coach. I mean, these guys are young. I like to have some continuity. I'm hoping the kid from Detroit stays around and coaches our defense again next year.
Yeah.
As soon as Penton, he got another job offer, but maybe this guy from Detroit won't get that offer because he, is such a bad head coach in Detroit. So maybe he'll be around. I say the only reason you get a new coach is if you get a real high-profile guy that's willing to come here, but you don't take another shot at a college guy. I don't know, Marone seems like he's so exhausted. He's working his tail off. But maybe he'll come around and start picking things up. Marv Levy did that. He was super ultra conservative when he came, and then he was convinced to use Marchibroda's no huddle. He went from very conservative to the most exciting offense that we've ever seen with the no huddle. Marone seems like he's done the opposite. He started with the no huddle.
Yeah.
They played it terribly. They didn't use it. They called it a no huddle, but they weren't a hurry up. And now they completely, got rid of the no huddle. But maybe he tried the S-Light. Maybe he's being affected on these 4th and 1s.
Well,
has there ever been a Super Bowl team that went for every 4th and 1 all the way through the season?
No, but I mean there will be one eventually, and that kind of thing. It's funny. I mean you work towards your strengths, and clearly, as you saw in that 4th and 1, well, he even called out the running back. He said the running back's right next to me here, but I'll say it. He should have went the other direction. He would have gotten that 4th and 1.
Instead of jumping.
Yeah, never leave your feet. I mean, they should tell you that. That should be something you know. He sort of screwed the pooch on that a couple times. But anyway, that right guard is that Piers is not a right guard. He needs to be replaced next year because there was another play where he got blown right up, and that was the end of it, and that was the end of the play. And as far as Marone sticking around, I think, coach has got to coach with a long-term vision, and, it's his second year. We're better this year.
We're definitely better. We're playing great.
Overall, we're better this year, so...
this 2nd and 1, 4th and 1, all these short yard games, I'm still saying don't pile up all these tight ends and receivers. The defensive backs end up making tackles. What you got to do on those is spread it out and run the ball. But that being said, I don't think him not going on 4th and 1 is the problem. I think the offensive line is to get together a lot better overall. And they talk about today, well, we want to win now. I don't want to pick a quarterback with our 2nd round and keep it long term. We need a tight end and a guard. I don't know if we need a tight end. Chandler had a nice game. He caught a couple nice catches. This Greg, it seems like they kid him. He's never in stride. I don't know if but he's a big man and he could fly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need a tight end so much. I think our biggest thing is the offensive line and a quarterback.
Tight end seems to be more of like a luxury pick. You pick that after you have quarterbacks and you have all the other stuff in place. And I think if there's a great quarterback sitting in the 2nd round, even if, let him and Manuel duke it out. Even if Orton will probably beat them again next year, the team will be that much better with another off season, with Orton being here the whole year. And if one of those guys is better, great. But if they're not better, don't try to make it happen. And another thing about that 4th and 1, I know all over the internet, everyone's bitching and moaning about it. The batteries are going. Maybe if it just didn't get to 4th and 1, maybe that would be good. Right?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. You don't have to have that many 4th and 1s if you don't do it. But we got to beat Cleveland next week. I put up a bunch of snow pictures here for us. God bless everybody in Buffalo. I hope you shoveled off your roof and it didn't cave in. We'll see you next week after the Cleveland game.
Yep, go Browns. Or
Browns. Okay, we want to see some. Go Bills, go Bills.
I jinxed her.